I just want to do a video very quickly while it's on my mind, something I just saw on Facebook. It came across from this news, I think it's a newspaper in England. It's called The Independent. The Independent newspaper. They've got a Facebook page. I'm not sure whether they're still in print or whether it's just an online news service, but basically it's a left-wing sort of liberal, progressive news organisation. In other words, one of these news organisations that mainly prints fake news, BS, left-wing garbage, supporting anything left-wing, anything progressive, liberal. In other words, fake news and BS. And the story they just put out, which I just saw a second ago, said that scientists, okay, here we go, scientists, the same scientists that give us all this BS about climate change, and back in the 50s, the scientists said that smoking was safe. The scientists gave us plastic, which we now hate, all this sort of stuff. So scientists said that the happiest people are women who don't have children and are unmarried. Okay, now obviously this is total fake news and BS. Total fake news and BS. And I'd expect it to come from, who knows where it comes from, some fake scientists around the world. And I expect it to be published by The Independent, which is a fake news, left-wing, progressive, liberal, load of BS, okay? This is what's going on in the world, where they're trying to push this narrative of, not having children. It's feminism. Basically what they're doing is pushing feminism, because that's what feminism is all about. Okay? And obviously feminism, at first I can understand feminism may seem attractive to women out there, young women, but it's obviously a bad thing that's destroying women's lives. And while I'm talking about this, it's a very good sort of subject to bring up a few things I wanted to talk about, because I recently had some strange thoughts, but I saw a few things which confirmed my way of thinking. Now that I'm getting older, I'm approaching 50 years old, and I saw a movement out there called the MGTOW movement, MGTOW, men going their own way. And I think this video is going to get too long to go into it in detail. I might do more videos, I'll try to do more videos where I talk about this, where it's basically an anti-feminist movement of men going their own way. It sort of sums up what's going on. Men who sort of reject feminism. I'm not sure if I've got all these thoughts I want to talk about, but it's not easy to suddenly jump into a video. I'll do my best and just give you a few ideas of what's going on. By coincidence, I made a video a few months back now, maybe 6 months ago now, where I talk against marriage. Now, this may seem a bit contradictory, because I just spoke about this story was that supposedly the happiest women are the ones who are unmarried and don't have children. That's total BS, but the whole thing about marriage for men, I don't mean to contradict myself, but you've got to hear me out here, because marriage, I advise men not to marry, because marriage is a scam and a sham. Marriage is a way to legally force a man to hand over their hard-earned money to women who can freeload off the backs of men. That's what marriage is all about. It like enshrines in law the idea that men have to give up everything for women and so forth. It's a scam. Don't get married. But you can have a relationship and have children and so forth. But, okay, get back to that story. Obviously, the feminism movement started from the 60s. The whole sexual revolution thing, it's basically been... Look, we can debate this. It's been a bad thing, and it's destroying women's lives. And basically, the sort of thing it leads on to is this cougar phenomenon. We joke about the Cougars, And what are these cougars? Cougars are these middle-aged women in their 40s and 50s who are embarrassing themselves by, trying to, look as sexy as they can, and they're out chasing men, doling themselves up, embarrassing themselves by, going to bars and chasing men. At an age when a woman is supposed to be settled down, financially settled down, with children, because I'm telling you, true happiness comes from a good family, having children, and being financially sound and so forth. And that means being with a man, to be honest with you, as far as a woman's concerned. And the women who follow feminism sort of reject marriage, and I can have my own career and I can do anything, and okay, they're going to have a job. By the time they get older, they'll desperately try to have children. Over 30, it becomes more dangerous for women to have children. Women mature young because they can have children. But the whole idea of feminism is sort of basically what happens is women get to an age where they suddenly realise, my God, I've wasted my life. Feminism's ruined my life, giving me this false sort of idea of, I can do what I want, I don't have to marry, blah, 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 I can get a job and so forth. And that leads on to the cougar phenomenon. The cougars are what they used to call old maids and spinsters. Basically, old hags desperately putting the makeup on, shoving their boobs out, trying to look sexy to try to pick up a man because they've wasted their lives. And true happiness, when women are young, that's when they should be trying to get a good relationship. You don't have to be married, okay? It's not about marriage. It's about a genuine relationship, and to have children and to be financially sound, have a good family, have children, and that's where true happiness comes from. And of course there'll be people sort of disputing what I'm saying. You're going to find more people out there agreeing with what I'm saying than the other way, because feminism, and that's what feminism is, and it's a bad thing that's ruining women's lives, because cougars used to be called old maids, spinsters, and they're basically old hags that should have found a good relationship when they were young and had children. That's the path to true happiness. But this BS that childless women are the happiest is total BS. And it's not surprising it was put out by The Independent, this left-wing, progressive, fake news, BS news organisation that, tries to pass itself as a real news organisation. It's total BS. And the scientists, the so-called scientists who put that out, I mean, they're the same scientists that are giving us climate change rubbish, the fake news, the fake climate change, the same scientists that gave us plastic that's now ruined the environment. The pollution, all these things ruining the planet have come from scientists. They told us smoking was safe back in the day, and now they're giving out this fake climate change crap, and now so-called studies that find that women who are unmarried and childless are the happiest. Total BS. And this video is getting too long, but hopefully I've made a few points here. I want to make a few more videos about this MGTOW movement. I fully support this MGTOW, men going their own way. Basically, women, the only thing going for women are their bodies. Now, this may trigger a lot of people. I don't give a damn, it's true. It's basically ass, tits, and pussy, and that's it. That's the only thing going for women. And women have this power over men that, my own version of MGTOW, men going their own way, is to try to, men should reject Not reject women. It's not about sex. You may like women, have sex, and it's not about that. It's not about rejecting women from a sexual point of view, but it's rejecting how women have this power over men. I think I've sidetracked away from my initial points. I'll stop talking about that. I might do more videos about my take on this MAGTOW movement, men going their own way, the anti-feminist movement that men should be following. But the whole idea that feminism is BS and it's been bad for women. Cougars are basically old hags, and all you women out there, middle-aged women, trying to look sexy, going out to bars, you're embarrassing yourselves, because what you should have done when you were young was found, a good relationship, not necessarily getting married, because marriage is an old thing that I think, is bad for men. For women, marriage is good because you get to freeload and get half of everything a man has worked their whole lives for. So marriage is a thing for women, not for men. But you can have a relationship, but children is the real path to happiness. I'm almost 50. I've learnt these things in life. And it's the women out there who are desperately trying to chase men. For example, I'll give you an example. A woman may look at that report from The Independent and say, yeah, I'm a young woman, that's true. I don't have children, I've got a job, feminism, all this sort of stuff. Come back in 20 years' time and see how you think. Because a woman in their 40s, 50s or older who thought like that when you were young, who believed in feminism, I can have a career, I don't need children, I don't need a man, all this sort of stuff, they're the ones that now regret their lives. Most of them. And the Cougars regret their lives. I'm sorry to say. Cougars are a joke. You're an embarrassment, ladies. Your power over men is wearing down because women don't age well. Women get ugly. That's why everything on women are fake now. Fake boobs, fake ass, fake face, facelifts, fake lips, makeup, all this fake stuff, tight jeans and crap and high heels and all this sort of shit is women desperately trying to keep their power over men because women don't age. I'm almost 50. I've got a wife. I had to go, to Thailand, away from the West. Men can do that. My wife is less than half my age. I've got a beautiful daughter, a family, and I'm laughing. I'm almost 50 and my wife is almost half my age. A woman can't do that. If I had a wife twice my age, that'll look crazy. But it's normal for me to have a wife half my age, less than half my age, and I'm laughing. I'm laughing at you stupid women out there who follow this sort of so-called study, no children, feminism, I can get a job, I can get a career. You've wasted your life. The time when you should be finding a relationship, having children when you're young and healthy. But the women who waste that, you may think feminism is a good thing when you're young. It may look appealing. It may seem attractive to you. When you get to your 40s, your 50s or more, you've wasted your life, and most women out there realise that they've wasted their life, and that's why you get these cougars. The cougar phenomenon are the old maids and spinsters and old hags desperately trying to find a man, but that man wants a younger woman. Get that through your stupid heads. That man doesn't want you. You may jag a one-night stand here and there, some young drunk man, have short-term fun, because sex, a one-night stand is short-term fun. You may jag that somewhere and have a one-night stand, a young man, whoa, what a hero you are. But that young man doesn't want you. That young man doesn't want an old hag. They'll want a younger woman to have a family and have children, and that's normal. But it's not normal for an older hag to have a young man. Like, it's normal for me. I'm laughing. I've got a wife less than twice my age, less than half my age, I should say. Okay, less than half my age. I've got a daughter. I had to go to Thailand. Okay, but men anywhere in the world, as long as you look outside the Western sort of world, they can find younger women to marry, girlfriends, have a good time, have children like I have. Yeah, I can't meet a woman here in Sydney, Australia. I come from Sydney. It's a joke. There's not a single woman I've met in Sydney. But like I said, I've got a wife less than twice my age. And you women out there who believe that story, that you're happy, it's total BS. Okay? It's total BS. You're going to get to an age where you realize I wasted my life. And that's when you're going to chase a man. You're desperately going to chase a man. You're too old to have children. You're going to waste your life. Anyway, this video is way too long. I'm just laying down some truth, dropping some truth bombs for you women out there, and for you men. I want to talk to you men about MGTOW, men going their own way. Don't marry, don't fall into the scam. You can love women, have sex and so forth, but be very careful about marriage, and we'll talk again soon.